Welcome back to the show. We begin our next round of debates as Tyler Quinn and Matt Nettie take on the difficult question, what is the best meal of the day? Is it breakfast, lunch, dinner, maybe something in the middle? Matt, we'll start with you.
Well, AJ, first off, thanks for having me. And I'm going to go with breakfast. The saying didn't come from nowhere. What every second grade teacher told their students, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And in my eyes, if it's the most important, it's the best. It needs to be eaten in order for you to have a productive day. Breakfast is the answer.
Now, Tyler, he brings up a good point. Everybody does say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. How do you counter that?
Well, I mean, I think breakfast is chill. I mean, I like breakfast, but when it comes down to it, dinner is the best meal of the day. I mean, there's so many options. We can go from filet mignon to salmon to cheesesteaks to pizza to literally anything. It just has so many more options that I would much rather pick dinner and you get more filled up. And honestly, are you going to go on a breakfast date or a dinner date?
Breakfast dates after maybe a long night out. Breakfast fuels you for the next morning. It's so important. It's so vital to be productive the next day. And taking the wife or girlfriend for a nice cup of coffee and maybe some French toast is about the most romantic thing I can think of.
Okay, well, I will be sure to tell my girlfriend that I'm going to take her to IHOP for breakfast instead of taking her out to a nice steak dinner and see the reaction I get, and that will really kind of just tell whether that's right or wrong.
And if she's with you for IHOP, she's a keeper. Marry her right now.
If she's going to IHOP, I'm not going to do that. In fact, I'm going
All right, we don't have to debate each other's romantic dates now.
I would dump her, but okay. Go on.
All right, well, Tyler, you bring up a good point about the versatility of dinner.
Right.
Now, you can have a lot of different foods for breakfast. Why doesn't that argument hold up for breakfast?
Well, breakfast, it has a lot of consistency. It's like eggs is like the main thing that is in a lot of things. You're not going to find that with dinner items. You can get pork, you can get beef, you can get chicken, you can make, macaroni and cheese for all that matters. I'm just saying that breakfast is a little more limited because, yes, we can make many different things, but there are many things like pancakes, French toast, eggs. All these things contain eggs. They all have the same consistencies.
People love breakfast so much, it's actually infringing on other meals. Brunch. You don't see that with dinner. And actually, there's dining halls on campus here that serve French toast for dinner. So that proves my point exactly. They love breakfast so much, they're serving it late at night when dinner's supposed to be eaten.
Sure. Okay. Also, America is not the healthiest country in the world by any means at all. In fact, we're arguably the most obese country in the world. I think we are because of comments like that. It's absolutely
Hey, if we're obese but we like the food that we're eating, I'll take that 7 days a week.
Cool, yeah, I just want to live to at least 75 years old and not die at age 40 like Fat Bastard and Austin Powers.
Well, you bring up this obesity question. Most of the time, the dinner is the largest meal of the day. Usually, for breakfast, you're not eating all that much, so how do you say that obesity is making
Great point. Breakfast usually is on the lighter side, calorie-wise, maybe a simple glass of juice and some toast. So yeah, breakfast I don't think is contributing to our obesity problem. I think it's the argument you're making in dinner when people just pile on steak after steak, burger after burger. Choose the lighter side with breakfast, simpler, easier, healthier.
Well, I have to say that breakfast items can be fattier in more terms because you can eat a dinner that's all vegetables, that's all healthy for you, or you could eat some fat, like McDonald's, whatever they serve at breakfast. I haven't gone there since I was like 4 years old, so I wouldn't really know. But breakfast...
McGriddles.
Yeah, McGriddles. People go and get breakfast at places like McDonald's and Denny's and IHOP because they're on the go. People like to make a nice dinner that's healthy for all their children. They like to instill those values in their kids that they can eat a healthy dinner with greens and proteins.
All right, we'll just have to table this debate for next time because that's all the time we have for tonight. And with this being the last class of the semester, I'd like to thank no one. Good night. Welcome back to the show. We begin our next round of debates as Tyler Quinn and Matt Nettie take on the very difficult question. What is the best meal of the day? Is it breakfast, lunch, dinner, maybe something in between? Matt, we'll start with you.
Well, AJ, thanks for having me, first off. And second off, it has to be breakfast. The saying, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, doesn't come from nowhere. Someone must have made that up, and that someone is the smartest person in the world. Breakfast is how you start your day off to be productive. You need to get something in your system to get you going, maybe a cup of coffee to energize you a little bit, a glass of juice on the side. Nothing beats breakfast.
Now, Tyler, how do you dispel this myth, this notion that breakfast is the most important meal of the day?
Well, I thought the question was what is the best meal of the day, but also what is the most important. I still will take dinner because that's where we get the most of our calories and most of our healthy calories. We like to eat our greens and our proteins at dinner. We like to sit down with our families, so it's also socially pleasing. We get to catch up on our day. But whoever said that breakfast is it's like a written notion that it's the best meal of the day. I mean, obviously they were smoking crack on the corner because that's not necessarily true at all.
You spoke to the point where dinner has the most calories, but I would also just point out the fact that America is the most obese country in the world. So is most calories honestly a good thing when people are dying from overweight at the age of 50? No. Choose the lighter side, the brighter side.
Right.
Breakfast is the way to go.
Now, Matt, I want to bring up another point that Tyler mentioned. People revolve their days around dinner. How do you dispel this notion that dinner isn't the most important meal of the day?
Well, you know who the most successful people are? The people who revolve their lives around breakfast. The people who have breakfast dates with their significant other. Nothing is more romantic than sharing a cup of coffee, maybe some toast with your significant other. That's how you know it's a healthy relationship. That's how you know those people are smart and intelligent.
Wait, hey, listen, I love Matt. Matt's a great kid. He's a great friend of mine. But he is high out of his mind right now. He doesn't even mean that. What he said was a bunch of jargon that a bunch of people just kind of turned their heads aside and were like, whoa, what? I would take my girlfriend out to dinner. She wants a nice dinner date where she can eat her steak that's glazed in red reduction wine sauce. She doesn't want to go to IHOP and eat the French toast with all the syrup on there. That's how she actually will get fat, and she doesn't want to do that. That's how Americans get fat. They go to McDonald's to eat the McGriddles on the go.
Girlfriends who don't care where they eat with you, they don't care if it's an IHOP or expensive dinner places, are girlfriends that I like to call keepers. If she's going to IHOP with you,
absolutely.
marry her.
But if my girlfriend prefers to go to IHOP over a nice
all right,
steak
guys,
dinner,
let's not
then that's
debate
that.
each other's significant others. Tyler, I want to bring up another point. People eat breakfast for dinner all the time. How can you say that dinner is the most important meal of the day if breakfast invades on it? And please do this without insulting our other panelists.
Oh, I'm not going to insult our other panelists. I will insult the other people out there because I just think that that's a poor choice. I think there are better options, healthier options, and options that are going to make you less hungry later in the night and you are going to be able to hold you more. It's like putting logs in your stomach versus Kindle. You're going to want a fillet. You're going to want a nice steak. You're going to want vegetables. You're going to get all that nutrition that you properly need.
This country loves breakfast so much. It's
That's fine.
infringing on other meals.
That's fine
Brunch,
if you love it, but it's still not the most
dining halls
important.
on
It's still not
campus
the
are
best.
serving
It's
French
fine.
toast for dinner.
That's
that just
fine.
proves that people are trying to move breakfast
No,
into
that
the
just
other meals of
proves
the
that
day.
we
That's
are a
how
fat
much
country.
their
It
love
proves
is.
we're a fat country. It doesn't prove any more. And in fact, it just contradicts your earlier point that breakfast doesn't come into account with more calories. It actually does because people are going on the go and they're eating things like French toast for dinner now. Yeah, I don't think so. I'll take my steak and my potatoes, please.
Well, Tyler, the steak and potatoes, nobody eats that stuff for breakfast. If this is clearly, if dinner's clearly the best, why aren't we eating these foods for breakfast?
If steak and potatoes is so good, why don't you wake up early in the morning when you're starving and put that on your plate? No, people like eggs, French toast, pancakes, waffles.
Okay.
That's how you start a great day. That's how you have a healthy life.
All the things that you just mentioned have to have eggs in them. They have to have eggs. Their main source of protein is eggs. All the things you just named. Dinner is completely different. We can get our protein from salmon,
all
chicken,
right, guys.
beef.
We're gonna have to save this debate for another time. That is all the time we have for tonight's show, and with today being the last class of the semester, I'd like to thank nobody. Good night.